The biggest concerns of home buyers. Welcome back to Techstination. I'm Fred Fishkin. With us from PenFed Home at PenFed Credit Union is Senior VP Mark Burrage. Hi, Mark.
Hello, how you doing?
Terrific. Great to meet you. And you have a new survey conducted by Atomic Research, and lots of folks may be surprised, I think, at some of the results.
What we found from concerns that people have heading in is affordability. And it's not surprising, but understanding what they can afford from a mortgage standpoint, including their taxes and interest, understanding what they can do from a down payment and from an overall home value of what they can do from a home purchase standpoint. But everything after that kind of trails affordability. But first and foremost, is just really understanding based on today's market what they can afford.
But it's not just the price of a new home that are some of the biggest concerns. Tell us about that.
After that, it can seem daunting from the outside looking in if you haven't done it before. You're dealing with a mortgage lender, you're dealing with a real estate agent, you're dealing with a title company, appraisal company, inspections, and that part can seem overwhelming. But what I like to tell people is go around a neighborhood, look into it. Everybody in that neighborhood got a mortgage. It's a lot simpler than people think, and you just have to jump into it when you're ready.
So I guess one of the first steps once you've found a neighborhood you want to look in is to find a real estate agent that you're comfortable with.
Absolutely. Yeah, finding somebody that you can trust, after you find you're looking for your mortgage lender and dealing with a real estate agent that you can trust, it's going to tell you what you need to hear along the way, but it's going to be available to you to help you find the right home.
If you're not from an area, I guess that people would have a lot of questions. How do I do that? How do I find the real estate agent that I can trust?
Well, from what we've done at PenFed is we know that can be a very difficult decision. We partnered with a network of trusted agents where if you come in and you get your mortgage, we can also help you find that agent through this network who've all been vetted, who are all experts in what they do, and we can find them in your community. And if you do so, and you're able to find an agent with us and you're placed with them and you end up purchasing that home and getting your mortgage with us, it works to your advantage because you pay no origination fee, no appraisal fee. So it's a lifetime value.
Securing a mortgage. Let's talk about that a bit and what buyers should understand.
Buyers should understand heading in, first and foremost, you need to get pre-approved. But after that, making sure that you have all your ducks in a row, making sure that when the lender's asking for something related to income, related to assets, sometimes it has to be electronically. A lot of times you can just put your credentials in right there and take it directly to the system. But being quick and responsive of everything heading in makes everything run a lot smoother.
And for people who are planning to purchase a home, say this year, what advice do you have? What should they be doing?
We talked about before doing the research, getting started, making sure that they're going in and they're evaluating what they have from a budget standpoint. Only, from what people are looking at, there's a rule of thumb, 28% on housing, but just looking at it from your budget and what you think you can afford. Only you know your expenses. After that, evaluate what you need from the home. How many bedrooms do you need? How many bathrooms? The commute to work, taking all that into account, get yourself pre-approved and get going. I've seen people who are, think they're 12 months out and they do that research and they find out a month later that they're a lot further along than they thought and they're ready to buy.
What are the biggest mistakes that people make that you've noticed?
Not doing that research up front, I would say. That's one of the biggest ones is just not understanding your overall affordability heading in and kind of going with that on the fly. Second would be just concentrating purely off interest rate. There's a lot around an interest rate, and you have to take into account the interest rate. You have to take into account the closing costs, but getting a more holistic picture. That's why it's so important to work with a mortgage lender that you can trust that you're going to be there with for the long haul.
And when it comes to making the decision, a lot of people, I guess, procrastinate and wonder, can I do this or can't I? What's your advice?
It's a lot simpler process than you think. It comes from being ready. And once you decide you're ready and yet you're ready to buy a home, do that research up front and jump right into it. Like I said, drive through neighborhoods. Everybody in there did mortgages before, and you become an expert into it relatively quickly. But when you feel like you're ready to be a homeowner, you can start moving in that direction.
And a lot of people think it's a matter of timing too, waiting for the right interest rate or waiting for the housing prices to level off or come down? Do they ever? I don't know. But
I uh,
tell me what your thoughts are.
Yeah, the timing of the market is something that I tell people to try to stay away from because really nobody knows what's going to happen. There's so many factors that go into it. And from an interest rate standpoint, if interest rates go up, has an effect on home prices. If it goes down, it has an effect on home prices. So there's not a lot of time by waiting and trying to time it where people can end up ahead. If you're really that worried about interest rate, understand that you can refinance it later if rates drop. It has to do more about what you can afford right now and if you're ready to buy a home.
How much of this whole process today is digital online? Years ago, I guess people had the big books, the MLS books and things.
Everything's moved online. You can apply for your mortgage. You can get pre-approved. You go out and look at houses. You've seen it with Zillow, with things you can do with Realtor.com. Everything is moved towards online. But the good news is that makes it a lot easier to do your research and get the information you need. Most places still have available where you can talk to somebody and get a little hand holding along the way for areas that you need or specific things that you need to understand. But from an online perspective, there's no better place to start.
Where can everyone go to learn more?
Perhaps they can go to penfed.org/mortgage. In there, they can learn about the offerings with PenFed Home, which includes purchasing a home, finding a real estate agent. But we also have refinance and HELOC, the entire suite to help you through the home buying journey and the home ownership journey.
Terrific. Mark Burrage, thank you so much for taking time with us.
Cool. Thank you very much.
The Haven 10,000 lantern is a smartly designed, beautiful solar light that you will love indoors or out. It is waterproof with up to 1,200 lumens of brightness. That's a lot of light. And the base becomes a flashlight at the push of a button. The power comes from a built-in lithium-ion battery recharged by the sun. The solar panel is built in, or USB-C. The battery can even recharge your phone. Did we mention how durable it is? How it folds down and can run for up to 120 hours on a charge? But the real power of the Haven Lantern comes from the people behind it and their mission to provide this quality lighting to those in the world who need it most, including in disaster emergencies. Your purchase helps to fund those efforts, and if you use the code Techstination20, you'll get it at a 20% discount. That's Techstination20 at havenlantern.com. Create your haven.